the keys are to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. I'm ready to talk about this game. 49ers versus the division-leading Arizona Cardinals. And it was exciting. There was a lot of big moments in this game. I found myself on the edge of my seat, for most of the offensive sets, waiting for something big to happen. So, yeah, I'm ready to talk about it. Let's see what's up. There's one guarantee I have to make before we get too far, though, Alex.
Do it.
Is that the 49ers won't lose next week.
No, they won't. We will be 2-3 heading into week number 7 against the Indianapolis Colts. That's the great news, faithful Cutback crew. We will be 2-3 no matter what. Next week is going to feel like a win 100%. And the best part is, on top of that, Ant, right, on top of a guaranteed non-L next week, also a big W in the fact that we're going to get some reinforcements and some guys back going forward, which is great news. But yeah, look, there's a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of things we need to get into. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, do all that fun stuff. Head on over to Discord too, because there was a lot of fun conversation during the game over in the Discord chat. But look, Ant, let's start with this defensively. Right? Let's start with the absolute incredible positive from this game. Defensively, this team looked phenomenal. D'Amico Ryans, we've been saying this in the all 22 films, all the breakdowns we've been doing. The defense has been in great positions and has at times made plays and at times just hasn't come through and made the plays necessary. Defense did everything humanly possible today to keep this score low, to keep this game where it needed to be, to make Kyler Murray frustrated, not allow him to cook as much as he should. If you had told me coming into the game, Ant, that the offense was going to be this bad for them in terms of like air yards and way they pushed and attack downfield, I'd have been like, wow, that's awesome. Did I hit my wow, that's bold? I think I hit my wow, that's bold.
You might have.
I actually think I did, which would be absolutely crazy. If you would have told me that we were going to hit it before the game, I'd be like, that's a big fat W for the 49ers. Close, but no cigar.
Yeah, and you also predicted that they were going to score 13 points in this game, and they scored 17. You really did come close. I mean, I thought the 49ers did a very good job of frustrating Kyler Murray all day, getting after him, rushing, very smart, right? They were getting after him, but they were doing it in a way that they needed to, keeping their rush lanes. It was exciting. I was definitely in on it. I was in on the way the defense played. I thought the 49ers also had a couple of long drives that really helped contribute to the defense being able to stay fresh as they were off the field. That 93-yard drive. I know we ultimately don't cash in on a touchdown or get any points, but it does keep the defense off the field, keeps them fresh and rested. That way they can go out there and compete. And I thought overall everyone was competing in a big way. We finally got a turnover cause today. Dante Johnson made a play and caused a turnover. So there were some positive things that came out of this, and I think most of the positive stuff, really the defense can continue to build off of this. The defense has been stringing together pretty good performances, and they put it together a very good performance against one of the NFL's best offenses. So this is a good sign for the 49ers moving forward, and I like how they'll be able to build off of it.
Not just that, Amp, but you're going to get Dre Greenlaw back, which means the passing, right, the pass coverage is going to improve. Run stopping ability is going to improve as well. You're going to be able to be more creative and more assertive with blitzes, sending Fred Warner on more occasions once you get Greenlaw back, because you can have guys out in space covering. You're going to get Marcel Harris off the field on some of these downs and put Al-Shaair out there, who's shown he can cover a little bit better. Right now has been playing phenomenal. Defensively right now, the sky is the limit for this group and what D'Amico Ryans has put together. Kyle Shanahan feeling really comfortable with his defense right now. You can tell that by the amount of times he was willing to go for it on fourth downs and put the 49ers maybe not in the best field position situations, but give Trey a lot of opportunities also, right, to make plays, extend plays, and do things of that nature. What I don't want to do right now, and I think you're in the same boat as me, I don't want to look at the game right now as a whole, what happened, and try and evaluate what Trey did and did not do well, because I want to see that all 22 film first. I want to see if there was no guys downfield, and that's why he was holding on to the ball for as long as he was. Is his main is his basic reads, right, his 1 and 2 read, because you and I both feel like right now he's a 1-2 read guy and then he's going to go, or his 1-2 reads covered and then he's taking off and running. I would like to see the L22 film first before I overreact, give any sort of perception right now of anything that happened. Because I see a lot of 49ers fans talking on Twitter, on Facebook, in the chat right now, like TCC, right? O-line did horrible. O-line did this. Well, listen, a lot of the struggles with the O-line today come from Trey holding the ball as long as he was holding it. But is that because receivers aren't winning downfield, or is that because Trey's not seeing what he's supposed to be seeing yet? Hard to tell from the from the angle from TV, right? From the actual broadcast positioning, it's really hard to tell all the time what happened and what didn't. What I do know is that they put together a game plan that allowed Trey to do the things that he's good at. Run with his feet, create, get outside of the pocket, freeze and hold linebackers, and try and attack the ball downfield and outside the numbers. That's what they tried to do a lot of today. He had some success sometimes. He struggled in other times. It's going to be growing pains. He's a rookie. But you know what? At the end of the day, you don't expect the 49ers to get down inside the 5 and not convert. It's been the area all preseason, all training camp, practices when we've seen Trey Lance. That's where he's had the most success. He's been able to find guys, create, and push that ball into the end zone. You just don't expect that today. That is honestly, that drive down there is the difference in this game. Kyle, trust him that this offense is going to get it done because he's seen it time and time again, and they don't get it.
You know what offense you're going against in Arizona. You
Correct.
know your defense is going to do their best to hang on, and you're just going to try to score points. You can't go kick field goals and match with their touchdowns. I think if you would have told Kyle Shanahan they would have held Arizona to 17 points, he would have thought he would have walked away with the win today. And you're right, going forward on 4th down, I kind of like the way that they were calling those plays down there. That 3rd down play, they ran a play action and try to get Trey an opportunity to throw for a touchdown. And then the next play, they get him outside the pocket where he has the option to run or to throw the ball. He's got Elijah Mitchell underneath. He's got somebody coming across over the top. I couldn't see it from the TV angle. But I have no problems with this call. I have no problems with that. I think every 49er fan prior to today, prior to knowing the result of that, would have been very excited with Trey Lance being in that situation and Kyle Shanahan calling that play. I think that Kyle Shanahan tried to put Trey Lance in a lot of opportunities to be successful today.
100%.
Whether that was using his legs or just finding quick reads or even finding opportunities for him to get outside the pocket and throw the football. And I thought Trey did a pretty good job. I'm not going to break down, exactly what he was looking at and what he was doing because I didn't pay attention ultimately to what Arizona was doing all the time as far as coverage when they were bringing blitzes and that thing. I really just wanted to focus on Trey and see how he was handling the situation. The one thing I'll say is the situations never seemed too big for him. He always seemed confident and calm. He seemed like he was able to handle it. There is one thing that I noticed that was a little bit different than when Jimmy's in is I thought that they get out of the huddle a little bit later.
Oh, 100%.
It seems like, right now Trey's taking a little bit longer to get the play to his players. Whether that is coming from Kyle Shanahan or coming from Trey Lance, that I don't know. But right now that was something that I thought was noticeable in the game. But I thought overall Trey created with his legs. He did a lot of good things in this football game. There are things to build off of. I'm not going to go out there and talk about Jimmy Garoppolo and who should start the next game or whatever. I don't really care right now. You know what I care about is the fact that a rookie quarterback that has a lot of potential showed some of that potential today. He's going to continue to grow. And we know that, whether it's next week 2 weeks from now or whether it's next year, that we have a guy that we can feel confident that we can go in there and battle some of the best teams in the NFL and have an opportunity to win. And ultimately, that's what you're trying to do.
Correct. I mean, look, today falls on the O. The O today didn't do what it needed to do. It didn't have enough series and possessions were converted.
Yeah.
And we're able to put points on the board. The defense did everything possible. And you know what? People are going to want to point fingers, right? I see 49ers fans pointing fingers at Kyle. I see 49ers fans pointing it at Trey. I see 49ers fans pointing it at George Kittle because he's soft and brittle, apparently, and he should have been out there. Look, you can point your finger, if you'd like, at anyone that you want. And you can try and place blame on it. But at the end of the day, this is a team sport. Team. That means all 11 guys on offense, your coaching staff, all 11 guys on defense. But it's a team sport. Everyone has to execute, all 11 guys. There were plays where some of the guys in the O-line didn't execute. There were plays where running backs didn't execute in space. There were plays where I saw receivers not winning routes in space on some of the on the broadcast. Mohamed Sanu had a drop early in the game that would have extended that drive and kept things going. And he then makes a great catch later on that leads to the big Deebo Samuel sweep for a touchdown. I mean, there are tons of times where you can always point the finger at one person. I said this last week. I said this the week before. I said it this week leading up. It's one more drive. One more drive, one more play that needs to get made, and any of the 11 guys on this roster can make those plays. It's just right now, we're not doing it. We're not having all 11 guys making those plays in crucial situations consistently. As soon as that gets cleaned up, it's going to improve. The offense will start clicking. We'll start converting on some of these drives and in crucial situations that we're just not doing right now. And anyone talking about the O-line and frustrated with the O-line and the holdings and them getting beat and all this stuff, like, just wait, be patient, right? Just give this some time, because there's reasons why they're having to hold. There's reasons why things are going on. The ball is being held in the pocket longer. What are the reasons for that? Is Trey not seeing and comfortable with what he's seeing? Is he missing open receivers? Or did we take more shots downfield, and so you have longer developing routes that take more time? All of those things matter as to why, we had holding calls against us, why it felt like Trey was running for his life. And all those things matter. The All-22 film will give a better idea of exactly, what the 49ers doing what they were doing route concept-wise to try and attack this Arizona Cardinals defense. And I think they did enough, right? I think they put Trey in positions to try, like you said, be comfortable with him. A lot of quarterback draws on second and longs and things of that nature when the Cardinals weren't bringing blitzes. They were sending guys back, really trying to take away the deep shot, and the 49ers dialed up good draw plays and things of that nature to push and keep, make it a manageable situation. Third and manageable, second and manageable, things like that. It wasn't definitely a clean game by the offense, but we still, again, had another chance. We had an opportunity. And when you have a rookie quarterback going out there with some limitations and concerns about, decision-making, his ability to make certain types of throws on the field, reading the field, things of that nature, the fact that we walked out of this with only one turnover early in this game offensively and plenty of drives that got over midfield into or close to scoring range, I feel very happy with that performance. I feel very happy that we put ourselves in those positions, and now we just need to take those things right and convert them.
Well, I think people need to realize what the real big takeaways are, and that is that, number one, this defense is good enough to keep the 49ers in any football game, and they have the opportunity to win any football game. And when you have a defense like that, that means you're a playoff contender. So right away, the 49ers are still in it that way. Number two, they're playing against the NFC West leaders in the Arizona Cardinals, the only undefeated team left in the league. And they went out there and they lost by 7 points. So the 49ers are not done this season. 2-3 record does not symbolize the end result of what this season is going to be. So there's a lot of ways to go, and there's a lot of mileage left in this season, and we need to just let it play out. So there's going to be some tough decisions that are going to be coming down the line. I mean, we have players coming back. We have we're going to have a decision at quarterback. You saw Jimmy was out there working before the game. He was moving around. They think that he's going to be ready to come back for the Colts. And then Kyle's going to have to make a decision on which quarterback gives him the best opportunity to win. And if he decides that it's Trey Lance, then he's going to roll with Trey Lance, and they're going to move forward with that. Harbaugh did it with Kaepernick, and maybe that is what he'll decide. I don't know that yet. And I'm not really going to talk about that, because right now I want to focus on the good things that the 49ers did during this game. And I think that one of the things that was really nice was seeing Elijah Mitchell back.
Beautiful.
Man, Elijah Mitchell really is a very good running back. The only times that he's not getting positive yards is when he gets hit in the backfield.
Correct.
If he gets to the line of scrimmage, he's going to find a hole. He's going to find a way to get positive yardage. And you saw the speed element again. Being able to have the speed element was very impactful in this game. It was nice to have him back. And I think that is something exciting moving forward, because JaMychal Hasty is about to come back as well. And then this running back room is going to look drastically different. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that potential, and whether that is Trey Lance, the potential with the read option and what he's doing there. It was nice to see him pull a couple times in this game and get around the outside. And I think the way that he can create with his legs is also impressive. So either way, I'm excited about those guys on offense and what they can do moving forward, because we have a lot of big games, and beating the Colts, when we come out of the bye, will be the most important. Get us back to 500 and right in the thick of things, because people are still losing close games in the NFL.
100%.
Green Bay almost lost today.
Should have lost today.
Crosby, if he could have missed one of those field goals against the Niners, that would have been wonderful.
Or, just push it a little bit more to the right so that way it gets blocked.
Oh, can I bring up something else? Joey Sly kicking off. He's got a tremendous leg.
He's got a cannon.
He was kicking it out of the end zone. I kind of like that. So Joey Sly, a little jacked. I didn't like his jersey choice of number that he's wearing. The fact that it was 14 really irks me a little bit, but no, I like the fact that he was doing that. But there are some questions that are coming out of this game, and I'm sure we're going to get into it.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to get into it, and there's going to be a lot of things there. Look, I want to see how this continues to build, right? Because at the end of the day here, what we got with this San Francisco offense today was opportunities. A lot of opportunities, a lot of potentiality, a lot of possibilities. And what we saw from the defense was elite. Missing key pieces.
Yeah.
Still missing key pieces on the defense and still operating at an elite level. Finally getting the turnovers to bounce our way a little bit. Two bad quarterback center exchanges for the Cardinals, again bouncing right into the hands of their players rather than taking a bounce and going our way, and guys not being able to. I mean, there were a lot of things that could have shot and killed drives for us. Even that last touchdown by DeAndre Hopkins. Beautiful throw by Kyler Murray.
Fantastic.
Incredible catch by DeAndre Hopkins.
100%.
And wonderful coverage by Josh Norman. Yeah. Literally just a fingertip away from making a big play. The 49ers had plenty of opportunities. Their defense did everything they needed to do today. Pressured Kyler Murray up the middle. Made him throw from the pocket. Tried to make him, uncomfortable. Keep him guessing. The beautiful blitz call by D'Amico Ryans, right, where he's got Talanoa Hufanga out in coverage. Kyler starts to roll the pocket, and Hufanga's coming off the edge on the blitz. He keeps outside contained. Murray tries to break, and Hufanga's just right there with him, giving the T afterwards. And I loved it. I loved them seeing utilize Talanoa Hufanga. We talked about it, right? This is a guy who we thought was a developmental piece. And then we're like, hey, you know what? After the preseason, maybe this guy is going to have an impact, and have key moments for this 49ers team. He showed his first little bit of it today. I'm excited to see how they continue to use him going forward.
There were two key plays where he was in. There was one where he was that one that you're talking about, where he comes off the edge and he's able to keep Kyler Murray from getting outside the pocket, and ultimately turns it into a crazy throw session. But also there was another one where he was in the box again, where they showed him in the box, where we all know he can be successful, and he bailed late. And I saw Kyler look that way and kind of hesitate for a second, and it was enough to throw him off, because I think they were expecting the same thing. Talanoa Hufanga's in the box. That means he's up for the run. And as soon as he bailed, they were a little bit confused on the cover. So once again, it was well thought out, a well thought out game plan by D'Amico Ryans, and they're using their players the best they can. I think one frustrating play for me, and it's unfortunate because these safeties play so good, was the little pop up that Kyler Murray threw towards the end of the game, where Jimmy Ward kind of drifts away from it.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, those plays kind of frustrate me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But I thought overall they were playing their best, the best that they possibly could, rotating those 4 defensive linemen, all those guys coming in, whether it was Ebukam trying to play. I mean, he had the reverse played perfectly. He just couldn't make the play, and that's unfortunate. But I thought that they're in the right places at the right times a lot. I'm interested to see how they did it, how they are funneling early on. It was all about, you want to go to Christian Kirk continuously? We're going to take everyone else away and let you, throw it underneath the Christian Kirk. At first, they were able to do that. At first, they were able to run and put the 49ers in base 4-3 sets, and then their tight end goes down. And as soon as their tight end goes down, they can't do that no more.
Correct.
But Kingsbury, we were right. He wasn't ready to consistently do that every single play like Seattle was. But when it came down to it, Kyler is that guy, and he was able to make a big-time play.
And he made the plays he needed to make. Couple interesting comments and questions here. Who loses this game? I believe not Trey. He played tremendous today. He needed to play more so he will be developed from Tua Lore. Again, team sport, right? Everyone's got to make...
49ers lost.
Yeah, the 49ers lost today.
Yeah.
The 49ers did not make plays. Again, if you want to point the finger at somebody, you have every right to do so. But at the end of the day, any one of the 11 guys on offense could have made a difference. Any one of the 11 guys on defense could have done something to change the fortunes of this team. That's been the case for the last 3 weeks for the 49ers. They have had games that they have lost that are extremely, extremely close. Their last 3 losses, 16 total points. I saw someone brought this up. I was talking about it all this week. 9 points between the 2 losses. One series, one possession.
Whenever you're 1 score away, you're feeling like you're in a position where you can change a couple of things and you can win football games.
100%.
They're not out of it at all. And I mean, this is what happens, right? Trey Lance is going to look at himself for a couple plays. Kyle Shanahan's going to look at a couple calls he made. Kyle Juszczyk's going to look and say, well, I could have done this. Alex Mack's going to be like, well, if I would have let the guy jump off sides, we would have got a first down. There's hundreds of things, right, that these guys are going to look at and be like, wow, if I would have just done this a little bit different, we could have won this game. And what you're trying to do is just make sure that next time you don't make the same mistakes, and then just get consistent. And when you're consistent with not making mistakes, then you start racking up positive plays. But I thought they played well overall today. I mean, were there mistakes? Yeah. I mean, there are mistakes in every single football game.
They're human beings.
I will guarantee you that a player and play yours make mistake on every single play that there is.
Here's the thing, right? These last 3 weeks, these 3 losses, they're not the same. They haven't been the same.
Yeah.
Week 3 against Green Bay, that loss there. Yeah, the offense doesn't show up early, but it shows up late and does what it needs to do, and the defense is just not able to make plays late in that game to make the situation as tough as humanly possible for Aaron Rodgers. The next week, the following week, the big loss, right, to the Seattle Seahawks. The offense shows up early. The defense shows up early. Offense kind of stalls a little bit, but it's still 7-7 going into halftime. Still 7-7. Offense still scored points. Defense didn't make some plays late, but the mistakes are not the same. When they're not converting, it's not the same. Some 4th and 1s that the 49ers didn't go for in those games, they went for today and didn't convert on them. And it still didn't matter, right? The Cardinals didn't take that great field position and convert those into points all the time. So the losses haven't been the same in terms of the execution, how the Niners have gone about doing it, right? I love that. I love the fact that that's been the case, that the Niners have been losing. The last 3 losses have essentially been different types of losses. Those are 3 learning, building experiences. Yes, we don't want them to lose the football game, but it's different loss every time.
I'm glad Sir Juju was never one of my teachers. He gave the defense a C+ and the offense an F.
Yikes.
I would have failed your class, sir, because this defensive effort...
It's an A.
It was an A. Because they held a team that averages 35 points to 17 points.
And 400 yards of total offense. They weren't close to 400 yards of total offense. I went on the He's on Fire podcast, said that they were going to hold the Arizona Cardinals to 13. And when I got off, they basically said, our defense is going to score 13 points. So that prediction is just bonkers. It's not even close. It was extremely close.
Yep.
I called 17-13 San Francisco. They lose 17-10. I mean, I felt that I had been seeing something with the defense on film and thought if we could execute and D'Amico Ryans can dial this thing up, they can keep this point total low, which is great for Trey, because if they keep the point total low, that's less pressure on Trey Lance. Hey, you don't need to go out there and score a touchdown every drive. We just need a couple of drives to go our way, and we're going to be right in the game. And John brought up a point earlier. He said there's no way Trey Lance can survive a full season in this style of offense. I think he means the amount of runs.
Correct.
I agree with him 100%. But I also want to point out one thing to you, John. Did you watch any Trey Lance in college? Because this is what Trey does. A lot of the stuff we did today is the stuff that Trey's comfortable with and that he's been successful with.
Well, I didn't want to get too much into, him
running the
start.
football.
No, who's going to start?
But in regards to in the future?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way to know that right now.
Well, I mean, there is a way.
Okay.
Because you think Kyle Shanahan would have dialed up this offensive scheme for a continuous every single time if he thinks Trey Lance is going to start the whole season like this.
Probably not.
He knows this is not sustainable. He had RG3 who broke down. He knows it's not. What he was trying to do, though, is trying to win this football game today, and then he knew he had a bye week so he could rest. So, no, anyone that's making a big deal about it's not sustainable, you're right, it's not. Because Kyle Shanahan's not going to dial this up consistently, Trey Lance is going to have to develop inside the pocket. One of the concerns is the release, because you saw J.J. Watt able to time it and get his hands up, and that's where you're going to see a lot of balls that are batted down. You got Trey with a little bit of a three-quarter release followed by, the elongated motion. So you're going to get passes knocked down. So he's either going to have to find different arm angles, find windows where he can throw, or he's going to have to speed it up a little bit. And he's not going to be able to speed up his release this year.
No, not at all.
He's going to have to do that during the offseason. But, some of the throw to Brandon Ayuk on the sideline was ridiculous.
That's perfect ball placement.
Ridiculous.
Well, I mean, the one to him there, the other one to him where Brandon pins it one arm against his body.
Yeah.
Not the best throw in the world, but here's the thing, right? He literally put that ball was put in a place where only Brandon Ayuk is making that catch. He had 2 of those today. Brandon Ayuk had 2 incredible catches today. I am really curious now about the All-22 film, because coming into this game, I was telling my brother, I've been watching a lot of the All-22. There's not a lot of opportunities for Ayuk in certain situations. There are times he's open, but there's not a lot of opportunities. And I'm sitting there telling him, I don't know if Kyle truly believes yet that this kid is ready. Like, if he's giving this kid opportunities. Those 2 catches today those are the type of things that your coach watches back on film and goes, okay, maybe it's time to start giving you some more chances and maybe dialing things up where you're the primary read.
At no point did Kyle Shanahan not believe in Trey Lance today.
No.
Every single time he let Trey Lance go out there and spin it, there was opportunities. There was lots of times.
Anytime he was running a read option, that's you putting faith in your quarterback to make the right read and the right decision.
He just let him go back and throw it, too.
Correct,
I mean, pretty much the whole second half it was on Trey. It's like, all right, go back, throw it, see what you can do, make something happen. And I thought, he made a lot of good reads. And then the Deebo Samuel catch in the fourth quarter where he just jumps up over the top.
2 of those nasty ones, man.
Fantastic catch. I thought Deebo, also had a nice run for a touchdown. I thought that was really nice. Deebo still making plays. Deebo still proving he's that guy. But we saw a couple plays from Brandon Ayuk today that let you think, like, all right, man, like, can we please get this guy the ball out there in space where he can create? That one he made where he gets free and gets away and gets up the sideline, like, whoo, too. That's the kind of stuff after the catch you're like, this dude's special. We see that we have two special guys. And once again, I'm going to point this out. I know we had a drop, but Mohamed Sanu consistently is getting open and making catches.
100%.
And I hated the drop because he took his eye off of it because he was looking for contact.
He was worried. He was worried about someone coming from the middle.
He was about to get cracked, and he made a mistake, and he dropped the football. But, yeah, and that was actually a very nicely timed throw by Trey Lance. His back foot hit. He got rid of the ball. He got it in the window. It just wasn't caught, and that's unfortunate. But I think both of them can build off of that, and I think that there was something nice about that. So those are one of the plays that I really liked from Trey Lance, especially throwing in that intermediate area where we've seen him make some improvements during the offseason.
Yeah, Coach Timo, look, he said typical rookie start, slow on delivery, and some high throws due to overthrowing. I mean, high throws due to overthrowing. A high throw is literally an overthrow. Look, the big thing for me with Lance is I see him starting to work with some anticipation, which is great. I see it at times, but it's the release. It's less. I think right now, more times than not, it's the release. It's the windup. It's the bringing the ball down, almost at times below his chest, getting close to that hip area, and then coming up in space. It's just too much time. It's 2.5 seconds to get the ball up, for then the ball to come out. For D linemen who are sitting there, pressuring and rushing and trying to hold lanes, because there were times where Arizona wasn't coming downhill. They were slow rushing, trying to make Trey operate from the pocket and throw from the pocket. Where if you're sitting there waiting and you see the guy bring the ball down, the ball's now coming back up to throw. Just a matter of time. You just wait. As soon as the ball comes up, all right, he's getting ready to throw. I can get my hands up. It's easy to time. It's easy to understand when the ball's coming out. Whereas if the ball's already up and you're just cocking and going, that's a second and a half, maybe a second, to understand and time that release. That additional time that Trey takes right now to get that ball out, it's going to be a problem for him right now. It's going to be. If he's the quarterback right now moving forward because Jimmy's not healthy and we're not ready to go back to that, that's going to be an issue, especially on anything over the middle of the field, 10 yards and in, because those balls are going to be coming out laser quick, lightning quick. And like you said, it's going to have to come down to changing the release angle, right? Changing the release angle, being creative with how you put the ball in space, or more anticipation. So releasing the ball early and maybe taking a little bit off of the football so it doesn't get there before you want it to. And the last way is to clean up the arm angle and the release, which you can't do in the amount of time that he has. It's impossible. That is a fix that's maybe 2 years down the road, potentially 3, depending on the amount of reps and how much it sinks in his head.
Well, he can fix a lot of it during the offseason.
He can.
I mean, it's one of those things that's going to gradually get better. He's going to get a little bit better next offseason, a little bit better the offseason after that. It's just going to continue to get better. He just needs, those times and reps with a quarterback coach during the offseason to really improve his release and his overall throwing mechanics. Those things you can't change overnight. You definitely can't change it right now as you're preparing for, to play games, and you got all this other stuff that you're worried about. So, I'm less worried about that now. So you're going to have to just figure out how to overcome without that. So you're right, playing with anticipation, finding avenues and windows for him to be able to, throw the ball without a defensive lineman in his face. And the defensive linemen, especially the one at the end, J.J. Watt just sat back, waited, timed it, jumped, and knocked the ball down. And, that's something that right now that's going to be something Trey has to deal with, and he'll figure it out. We did see him make improvements from last week, and I think that's the positive thing is coming out of last week, there was a lot of areas where he just missed open receivers. This time on the checkdowns and stuff, he would get rid of the ball sometimes. So improvement, and that's what you're asking for from a rookie quarterback. And it kind of makes the situation a little bit different. So I'm curious how Kyle Shanahan handles, the next couple of weeks. I'm sure he's not going to, come out and openly say anything, but I am curious how they handle the bye week and then, handle next week. I'm sure Trey will get a lot of, reps as well, because they got to make sure he's ready to go against the Colts.
Yeah, you got to make sure he's ready to go. And Jimmy is going to be taking it easy next week, as he should, trying to get himself healthy and for Kyle to make whatever decision he's going to make. But look, I'm looking forward to the All-22 film, man. The All-22 film is going to shed a lot of light on route concepts, how they wanted to attack Arizona, how Arizona tried to show certain things. They brought a lot of pressure on Trey a lot of the time. And there were times where they just dropped out and played base shell coverages. I didn't see them trying to do a lot of tricky things, Ant, when they wanted to be soft with coverage. They just showed it, right? 2 super deep safeties a couple of times, showing a super deep single high over the top safety with guys bailing out really early, going cover 3. I didn't see a lot of disguised coverages from them.
Yeah.
I saw pressure coming, disguised pressure, and then just base shell.
Yeah, a lot of times It was interesting watching the 49ers defense just sit back and let Kyler Murray. A lot of times he's like waiting for them to make a move, and they literally don't check. And there's one play, and I'm excited for it when we get into all 22. Is I see Kyler Murray check it, then move the running back to the other side, and he's looking, and right before he's about to snap the ball, Fred looks at Aziz and points at the hole, and they run the ball there. I mean, that is literally what happened. It's like, oh, and it ended up being a 1-yard gain. It was nothing. Aziz and them stuffed it at the line of scrimmage. Like, that is next level defense. That is being prepared. And I thought that the 49ers defense looked prepared today. They executed at a high level. And that's all you can ask of a defense that's going against an offense like this. If you would have told me last year that we'd have held the Cardinals to 17 points, I was like, well, we had an opportunity to win. And last year when we held them to 12, we did win. So I think the 49ers can feel good about this performance. I know it's not a victory, and not getting victory sucks. But whenever you can build off a close game like this, it is something that you can at least take into a bye week. If it would have been a different route, if it would have been horrible, or if they really would have struggled, it would have been a tough bye week. But I think that they can build off this, and they know that they have an opportunity to come back and play and play at a high level. And they're still not out of it. I mean, 2-3 is not the end of the world. Is it where we wanted to be? Absolutely not. But I mean, with the things that the way that they've played over this stretch, you're a couple plays away from winning some football games.
Especially with what's going on now with Seattle and what's happening with Russell Wilson and the finger there.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford dealing with a little bit of a finger issue as well. And Kyler Murray now dealing with a little bit of a shoulder issue. All of these teams in the NFL right now in the NFC West, their quarterbacks are banged up. The starters are banged up. So NFC West is still wide open. The only team who's really separated themselves so far is still Arizona. Undefeated. They're undefeated in the conference now. And
are they separated? The Rams are one game back.
That's what I mean. They've separated themselves from the bottom half of the NFC West. That's really about it. They separated themselves 2 games. Everyone else is still 1 game back. So the NFC West is still wide open for everyone. The 49ers can easily get this fixed and get themselves back into position and contention. But now it's about the bye week. It's about getting healthy.
Yeah.
And it's about getting reinforcements back. And it's about prepping yourself for this Colts game. Now in week 7, a team that is going to rely heavy on the run game, that's still missing Quentin Nelson at this point in time, and their offensive line has been struggling. So you should be able to get some pressure on Carson Wentz, and we've seen what Carson Wentz can be when that happens. Look, some things we have to talk about and bring up. Time of possession for the Cardinals: 28 minutes to San Francisco's 32. Right, first downs, only 20 first downs, 304 yards of total offense for the Cardinals. What an incredible job on this 49ers defense, man. I'll tell you what, Ant. You did what you needed to do. 186 passing yards for the Niners, 152 rushing yards for the San Francisco 49ers. You hold the Arizona Cardinals, who have been relying on the run game to get some things going for them, to under 100 yards on the game. Beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. You did what you needed to do. We averaged more yards per play than the Cardinals did in this game.
Yeah.
It may not have felt like it, but they did it. You only turn the ball over 1 time. You force a turnover as well. Man, the 49ers did everything possible to give themselves a chance. It doesn't go their way, and they're still just 1 drive, 1 play, 1 possession away from turning their fortunes. It sucks that it's still 1 play and they haven't found a way to overcome it yet, but they're getting close. They're getting close. They're dialing themselves up and keeping them in the hunt. And when you got a rookie quarterback out there, that's all you want to do is have the opportunity and the ability to try and come out of there with a W.
Yeah, imagine how much different this game is if they score, where Trey gets stopped.
Half,
I mean, Trey did everything he could. This is nothing on Trey.
No.
But if they would have came away with a touchdown on that drive, that would have completely changed the game. Would have flipped it. This game would have been a different story because that was a big momentum switch. But, you got to give Arizona credit for going 99 yards after that. I mean, they didn't go 99 yards. They went, flipped the field and then kicked the field goal. So, but it was a good drive. So, I think that the 49ers played better than people actually think coming out of the game now because we lost. I think they did have moments where they played well. It's just they didn't have a lot of consistency. They felt like there was a lot of penalties in this game.
Again, it's becoming a common theme.
Yeah, I mean, but this week just seemed like a ton in general. Like even Arizona was getting penalties at one point where it's like, it just seemed like there was a lot. This referee crew was interesting where they picked up flags as well. I think that sometimes, it's weird that you have such different standards for each referee group. But I'm excited for what's coming up. And I think, this next week, it's all going to be about the 49ers just resting, getting a little bit better, and then they'll worry about the Colts when they get into the week after. So they won't prepare for the Colts until they get to Wednesday of that game week.
I'm already seeing guys in chat, and John had asked, what do we talk about if the 49ers lose to the Colts? Well, you're really, really far ahead of the ball there. You're putting the cart way before the horse at this point in time. But if the Niners lose to the Colts, the reality situation is you're 2-4. The team is definitely not doing the things they're supposed to be doing. But what I would want to know is why are we losing that game? Do we give up a bunch of points and the defense falls apart and doesn't do what it needs to do? Or is the offense still stagnating? Those questions will give a lot of insight into where San Francisco's at that point in time and what needs to change.
If we lose that game, it does change the outlook of the season.
Well, you're not looking at playoffs and you're not looking at winning the NFC West.
You're not out of getting into the playoffs, but you're definitely in a world of hurt.
Correct.
And I think that would change the outlook, and that would possibly change Kyle Shanahan's mind on who the starting quarterback is. Because if you're at 2-4, it might be time to roll with the young kid and just let him, completely learn on the job and see what happens. But I think that's what it is, because you still have an opportunity to get to 500 against the Colts. But losing to the Colts would be a pivotal loss, I believe, in the season. So, yeah, that game is going to mean a lot to the 49ers and a lot to those players, and it could fundamentally change how the season plays out.
Definitely could. It's still too early, though, for there to be any sort of panic. I'm still not understanding a lot of the calls people are making for DeMeco Ryans' head, for Kyle Shanahan's head. I thought the game plan and what Kyle Shanahan tried to do today for Trey was brilliant. I thought he did everything that he possibly could to give Trey opportunities to be not only comfortable but first and longs, second and longs after penalties, things of that nature, third and longs, knowing he was going to go for it on fourth. He ran a lot of plays and a lot of opportunity, put Trey in positions to make plays with his feet, take underneath stuff, and make them manageable situations, right? 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, not 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, where, pressure could be coming in to get the ball out quick, and we all know Trey wants to take that ball and push it downfield. Kyle put Trey in positions where he had manageable downs, manageable situations, manageable yardage, right? And gave him opportunities to make plays and gave this offense opportunities to extend drives. Sometimes they converted, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes guys dropped passes, sometimes guys made great plays. It's consistency right now. It's just across the board consistency. We're not consistently doing the things necessary to extend drives. We're not consistently making the blocks necessary to spring big runs. We're not consistently finding the right guys in space so that we have opportunities to push the ball down the field or get into the end zone for scores. It's just consistency right now offensively. Sometimes that's time, right? With more time as the season progresses, guys get more comfortable in their role and how to execute. They improve and get better. And sometimes it's just you make a good play call, defense makes a good play call, and a guy doesn't win.
John asks, okay, question. Do you think Trey Lance can last a full season with the game plan?
No. Absolutely not.
No. Kyle Shanahan was trying to get this win in before the bye week.
This was a game plan for this game.
For this game only. He would not try to implement this game. If Trey was moving forward as a starting quarterback for the rest of the year, like if they decide he's going to start against the Colts for the rest of the year, they will not implement this. Trey will only run occasionally on design runs. The rest will be, him scrambling and stuff. That's going to be on him to make good decisions and protect himself. But actual design runs, no, you can't consistently do this because he will take a beating, and you see what happens to these players. So no, it's not something that they can hold on to all year.
Correct, absolutely. Mark talked about, Mr. H talked about Madden was wrong. What wrong with the world? LOL. Madden was wrong. Actually, technically, Madden was sort of right. Had a low-scoring game. It had the 49ers kicking a lot of field goals. And the 49ers had some field goal opportunities that just passed up on it. They just didn't take the actual field goals, right? Madden has been scary right on a lot of these games in terms of how things have gone. Madden has been predicting for the last 3 weeks for the 49ers that the offense would stagnate. The only thing that Madden got wrong this week was the run game. That the run game wasn't going to get going. There wasn't going to be anything happening. Run game was fully active, going 150-plus yards there. And Coach Timo with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Coach Timo. Colts game after the bye week is a home opener. It should be a good fixer-upper for us. I think we beat the Colts, just saying, with confidence.
I like that.
Like it, too.
I like the confidence. I think the 49ers can beat the Colts as well. So we'll see what happens when we get there, and we'll see how it all plays out. It seems like the 49ers came out pretty healthy today, so I'm excited about that. I thought that they played hard, they played physical, they played fast. Those are all the things you want from your football team. The only thing they have to do now is execute some plays at a higher level. It's unfortunate. That's just what happens. But this is it, Alex. During this last week, we told everyone that Trey was going to have moments where you're like, wow. And then you're going to have moments where you're like, oh my. That is the rookie. That's the rookie life. That's the rolling with the rookie quarterback. That's what you're going to get. That's what you expect. And so I'm real calm about this game because this is what my expectations were. I thought Trey played pretty equivalent to his expectations, completed passes right around 50%. That's what he's been doing the entire time. Consistently. He had the one bad throw where he airmailed Travis Benjamin that got intercepted. Okay, that happens. He made a mistake, but he made some plays as well. And you saw what Kyle was doing to try to work him in, but I'm not ready to point fingers at anyone because I understand what it takes to win football games, and I think that things didn't go the right way all the time for the 49ers, and a lot of it's timing. I mean, 100% a lot of this is timing. Trey's, like the first fourth down, I'm gonna throw this out there. The first 4th and 2, where they try to run the quarterback power, he outruns his blocker. He's excited about the situation. He needs to hesitate and wait for Laken Tomlinson to get there. Laken makes the block. He's able to get the first down. People question the call from Kyle Shanahan. A few weeks ago, they were questioning why he didn't go for it on fourth down.
Right now, I feel there's a lot of 49ers fans right now. You're not keeping the same energy. You're not keeping the same standard. When Kyle Shanahan punts it on 4th and 1, why isn't Trey in there and you guys are just running him?
Yeah.
Why aren't you letting Trey make a play? Like, put him in there. He can throw. He can make a play with his legs. We have Trey out there. It's 4th and short. You load the box. You bring Kyle Juszczyk in as well to lead. You have a quarterback power situation that we've seen the Niners run a bunch for a lot of yards, including later in the game on a 3rd and, I think it was 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 10. They run a quarterback draw that Trey gets 9 yards for to set up a 4th and 3 that they then convert on. You want your playmakers to make plays.
Yeah.
Right? You want your playmakers to make plays. Last week, what I heard from people was on the Deebo Samuel fly sweep, why wasn't it Trey running up the gut? This week, it's Trey running up the gut, and people are talking about why is Trey running up the gut when you can do something else instead. It's like you need to keep consistency. You need to keep the same energy, not cutback group, but faithful. Like the 49ers faithful out there, you got to keep the same energy. Kyle is taking the team he currently has, the strengths of the current quarterback that he has, and trying to do the best that he possibly can with the situation. I thought there was a hole there when they ran the play live. And if you're saying that Laken Tomlinson was there to make the block and Trey overruns it, I'm looking forward to that breakdown on all 22.
100%. I'll show you.
And seeing it, because I want to see those things because those are things that they're going to talk to Trey about in the film room itself at practices. Hey, Trey, look at this here. Let's slow this down. Let's take a look at this. Look at the block.
They're not going to have to talk to him. You know why?
He's going to know it.
No, he already fixed it. Because they ran quarterback power later.
And he waits.
He hesitates, lets the guys get in front of him, makes a great cut. Trey Lance, once he's following his blockers too, he makes a great cut. I was watching it live and I was absolutely excited. Like, oh, here it comes. Oh, there it is. There was good play calling in this. I know people are upset about his play calling, and that's fine. You can be upset about it, but when you call a play, you have to count on your players to execute. And if your players don't execute because of timing or whatever issues, and Coach Timo wrote this, and he understands, timing is everything when it's coming to offense. Everyone has to execute at the same timing. If you have a little bit of timing off, the play gets blown up, or it changes how good the play could have been. The play could have went for 5. All of a sudden, a guy is a little bit off. Now the play goes for 2 or 3. It changes everything, and that changes the drive. You're expecting to get a certain amount of yardage, put yourself in a situation to run this play. Because when you're a play caller, you're not thinking about the next play. You're thinking 2, 3, 4 plays in advance. I'm going to do this, and it's going to set up this. And unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work. So I understand what they're doing. I'm looking forward to getting into all 22 so we can break it down further. And I will tell you right now, if Kyle Shanahan was making mistakes in play calling, like he did with the Kyle Juszczyk one, okay, I'm going to call him out for that one. You ran that already. They've seen it a couple times now.
You got to expect that someone's going to know it's coming.
You got to see it's coming. So if he's making a mistake, I will definitely say something about it. But for the most part, he's done a good enough job. The offensive players just need to execute. And then there's situational things as well, like Mike McGlinchey is not good at kick sliding. You notice them. But see, this is the thing, right? We talk about how they handle it. Mike McGlinchey's getting wrecked. You know what they do 2 plays later? They chip him with Kyle Juszczyk on Chandler Jones. It's the one where Jones gets the helmet-to-helmet contact. So they adjusted on the fly. That's what I'm saying. It's not all coaching. Some of it's execution by the players.
It definitely is. But again, you got to be able to watch the film and break that down. And it may not be one person that you can point the finger at. It's real easy for people to want to point the finger at
David's going to be wearing his cutback stuff in Arizona.
What's that? I like it. I like it, David. I like it. You definitely need to. Tired of everyone simping for awful players who don't deserve their loyalty. I don't know what players you're talking about, Spy, but okay. What are that team now? It's good enough, LOL. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Look, Kyle has put the team in certain positions in certain situations to execute. When you get inside the 5-yard line and you dial up certain plays, you're expecting a certain type of result. You're expecting certain types of things to happen. You're hoping that your team can execute and win those situations, especially when a team is manning up across the board, and you can win 11 on 11. We got into the red zone early today. We didn't win that matchup. Who was at fault for that? Oh, a lot of things. A lot of things went wrong. There was an early play there that some of the linemen get beat on a couple of things. They send some blitzes, the right blitz to the right hole, and blow some things up.
Yeah.
Trey Lance misses Charlie Warner on the second down play, in which he's wide open in the end zone because there's pressure on his face. He's not able to get off of his first read and get over to the other side of the field. Tough situation. There was an open guy, but he doesn't diagnose the blitz correctly. The blitz comes from that side. He's not able to get away from it. Leads to a bad situation, right? And then you have two situations where you're getting him mobile out in space, trying to make a play. One doesn't go our way. The other one, Trey has an opportunity, lowers the shoulder, and does something that I've seen Trey Lance do 1,000 times on film. Lower that shoulder and bully through a guy into the end zone. He did that in college a lot. This is the NFL. This isn't college. He learned something heavy today. I'm glad that he walked away from that goal line stand unscathed and not hurt, because I saw that hit and was like, oof, man, that's rough right there for the young man, for the rookie. He's definitely feeling it, though, Ant. If you notice when he comes out in the second half, he's got a red circle on his neck. He was getting some cupping done at halftime in the locker room for that neck after that hit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Nick clarified. He said you guys just said Kyle was good enough. Yes, because anyone that's been listening this week knows that we talked about Trey Lance being the quarterback means that the offense is going to be limited as far as what plays they can call. Kyle even said, I'm going to run the plays that he feels comfortable running.
It's not the whole playbook. He doesn't have the whole playbook at his disposal.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan held a sheet today that had room on it.
On the backside,
he never has room on his play sheet, and he had room today. And it's what he had to do, right? You're going to make plays that he feels comfortable in. So he could only do good enough today to win. That's what the whole goal was to do good enough. It wasn't to go knock their socks off. You just have to go out there and put Trey in situations to be successful. That's what he tried to do. And then Trey went out there and tried to execute the best he possibly could. Today, their best wasn't good enough, and they lost to Arizona. But you work and you try to get better, and you hope that you're good enough to beat the Colts.
Yeah. Guys, Cutback crew, people in the chat. Chill out with the name calling, chill out all that stuff. Remember, everyone's allowed to have an opinion here. Everyone's allowed to say the things they want to say and feel the way they want to feel. Keep the personal attacks to a minimum, folks. Keep it to a minimum. There's no need for it, right? You can be passionate about your 49ers. You can be upset about it. Cutback crew, you should be expecting teams from the rest of the NFC West to come in here.
Who said Trey was the problem?
I don't know who said that Trey was the problem.
Literally, no, Nick just said Trey isn't the problem.
I don't know who said that Trey's the problem. Maybe you got people in chat that are saying Trey's the problem. And again, listen, if that's the case, right, that's their opinion. But no one here said that Trey was the problem. We said that, right? Trey made some plays today. Trey probably had some opportunities where he missed some things. But at no point is this on Trey Lance.
No.
This situation. He moved the ball down the field. He put us in positions to execute.
Yeah.
Sometimes other guys around him didn't execute. Sometimes guys dropped passes. And sometimes Trey held on the ball a little bit too long and may have missed some guys. But again, that's a team thing, right? That's all the pieces not necessarily working in cahoots. Because again, I said this early on, right? The reason Trey may have been holding on to the ball was he had a one-on-one that he was looking for, and the guy doesn't win.
Right.
And so he's coming off that first read being like, I don't have what I want, and trying to make the next read in space. O-line, what are they used to? I mean, if we're being real, right? What are they used to? The ball coming out in 3.5, 4 seconds. That wasn't happening. They have
to have that. Yeah. Let's be honest. They've built this offensive line to have the rhythm throwing. There's a lot of times when Trey is creating. That's why you saw holding on Trent Williams as well. He's expecting the ball to be gone or for Trey Lance to be gone. You know what I mean?
One of the two, yeah.
And they have to adjust to that. It is a different game. It's different playing with a pocket quarterback and playing with someone that creates with their legs. And there's going to be an adjustment period. That's just the way it is. That's just football. Things change and things break down. And that's why you have big potential down the field when a play breaks down. But what kind of potential do you have when he doesn't get the ball out?
It's hard. It's hard. But again, this doesn't fall on any one single individual person. This falls at the feet of the team. Not so much the defense today, because the defense did the things they needed to do, but definitely definitely at the feet of the O, and all 11 guys on offense. All 11 guys on offense didn't execute enough at the right time, at the right points in time. And that's just unfortunate. It really is, because Kyle Shanahan is the kind of guy that likes those types of things, right? As an offensive-minded guy, you want all 11 guys executing properly so that the offense can have the things that it needs to have in order to be able to move the ball, make big plays, capitalize on weaknesses within the defense, and attack where you want to attack. And it's just not happening. It's not turning out the way it needs to. What does this say here? How about take on all allies? Matt, I really feel absolutely horrible for the Detroit Lions, man.
Oh,
the football gods do not want you guys to
I thought they had it.
I thought they did too.
I thought they had it.
I was convinced again. I was convinced again.
Yeah, I think that's my belief. That's how I feel too, Tio. Lost by 7 points to a great team. You know what I mean?
5-0, the only undefeated team left in the NFL.
You lose by 2 to Green Bay. I mean, it sucks, but they're a good football team.
And they barely beat a much improved Cincinnati Bengals team today.
Yeah. I mean they did. And you lost to the Seahawks, and you know what Russ does? They give the 49ers fits. I think that, this is unfortunate that we've lost these last 3 games, and it's tough, and we're feeling it right now. I'm not ready to go in the depths yet. Like I said, the Colts game is going to be pivotal, because if they lose that, I mean, it's really time to look in the mirror and just be like, you know what? We're struggling a bit. 2-4, that's not a good situation, but coming out 3-3, I think it changes the entire complexity and attitude of the season.
Yeah, I find it funny. We got people, John, saying there's only one problem, that's trying to run a college-style offense. Tell it how it is. Isn't that what Arizona runs?
Arizona most definitely does run a college-style offense. I think the thing is, you're not running a college-style offense. You're running a offense with college-style principles.
Correct.
He was trying to do the best. I mean, one of the first things you learn as a coach is, how can I put my player in the best situation to be successful? And sometimes you have players with certain talents, and you have to put them out there and use the skills they have. And they know what Trey's strengths and weaknesses are. Right. So if his strength right now is not reading coverage, then you're going to use the assets that he has, and that's run the ball, let him create with his legs, and then when it breaks down, let him create.
Correct. Here's the other thing, all right, I want to say too, is if you're running a lot of read stuff, right, read options and things of that nature, you're trying to create situations where team wants to man up more. You want to try and account for it, because if you got guys running zone concepts and zone principles, and you got guys standing and occupying in space, they're not accounting for motions and things of that nature. And you can create some flow with running back movement and things of that nature, where if a guy doesn't hold outside contain, and I talked about this on the All-22 film preview with the Arizona Cardinals, Marcus Golden does a real terrible job of holding outside contain.
Yeah.
Now, I said, granted, they were playing the Rams and Matthew Stafford, so he doesn't necessarily have to, but if he does it against the 49ers, there's going to be opportunities for Trey to pull and get around, and there were. Whenever they ran read option to that side, Marcus Golden, he would collapse down inside on the running back, Trey would pull, and he would get around and do those things. But the purpose of it is to try and create the situations where Trey can have success. And that's a one-on-one deep down the field, deep throws, sideline throws outside the numbers and downfield 18, 20-plus yards. That's where his strength is. Those are the things he does well. Hard to do those things if you got a team sitting in zone, deep, taking away the deep part of the field, and deep outside the numbers, sitting in cover 3, taking away corner routes and things of that nature, and trying to make you operate over the middle of the field. It's just tough.
Yeah, right now they know what they have to do. You saw the Seattle Seahawks defense just sit in the cover 3. You're seeing Arizona run something similar. They're sitting in zone. They know the guy's going to want to create with his legs. You don't want to be in man coverage, because if your turn running the other way, he's going to gash you for a big play. They have to have their eyes on him, and right now he hasn't really deciphered, all the time what to do during these different route concepts. He hasn't figured out, what the coverage is going to do and how he's going to handle it. He's having moments where he does it well, and then he's having moments where he's struggling a little bit, and it's taking a little bit longer, and he tries to create. But he does create, you know what I mean? There are positives with it. It's just he's going to be learning on the fly, and there's going to be growing pains. That's just what it is. As you're getting better, it's like I said, earlier in the week. It's like what Bill Walsh said about Steve Young, that he was a frustrating guy because he would, miss the easy things and then make a tremendous run or tremendous play, and you're like, wow, look at that potential. But it's frustrating, and you're going to get frustrating moments from Trey Lance.
Correct. Caleb, that's incredible. Should Kyle be a little more hands-on like Urban Meyer?
Wow.
I'm not going to lie. I want to be upset with that, but he did it to himself, man.
Urban Meyer stays on the grind.
You know that's right. You know that's right, and in the bar too. Absolutely. Being compared to Romo, probably not a comparison you want to make. You get a Stafford-esque player, all stats, no W's. Also true. Look, this is just it's funny times, it's funny situations right now for the 49ers. Funny in the sense that you have a team that's got 3 straight losses. All of them have been extremely close. And the fan base is probably more divided over this team than ever before. A lot of people feel a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll be honest. Growing up, besides the newspaper, right, there was no avenue for people to be able to express, what their views were on the football team. And now we're at a point where anyone can express their opinions on, on their football team and how they feel. I never knew that there was so many opinions on every single player and every single play, and everything was going to be so highly scrutinized or highly praised.
It feels like now that every play has to be successful and be positive for the 49ers in order for there to be anything nice to say.
Well, I think people, hang on every moment. I hang on a lot of moments during the game, and then we express those. And to me, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just think it's interesting how
I think it's funny, and the reason why I think it's funny is just because it's everything is going to drastically change on every play. A big play is going to take you to the moon, and a 3-and-out is going to take you to rock bottom and feeling like, however you want to feel. A turnover is going to make you feel one way. A big stop on a goal line is going to make you feel another way.
Isn't that fandom, though?
It's fandom, right? You're fanatics. That's what happens. You're going to go to the nth degree with all of it.
A roller coaster.
Correct. I just want to see everyone take a deep breath and realize that this team is still. I think the average now is 18 points still.
I have to ask Spivey, since Spivey, since he said Jimmy is trash, Trey is trash. Does he want Nate Sudfeld?
I think he wants to acknowledge him, and he wants to acknowledge him. This fan base needs one healing, and only one man can do that. Acknowledge him from KNDR. It's all about Nate Sudfeld for those two. We are 2-3. You acting like we
unleaded?
Or
is that unleaded?
Unleaded?
And still mad. Is that like gas? I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know.
It's probably what's it called? Typing error.
Probably.
So
fix that for us.
Nick, let us know what you actually mean.
Fix that for us. Fix that for us. We are 2-3, acting like we blank and still mad. I just want to know what that is.
And Spy v Spy, the fan base needs a quarterback. Maybe it's Sudfeld, the quarterback you didn't know you needed.
Feeling one way or the other is fine as fans, but what are those feelings based on? That's kind of how I'm like. That's kind of where I'm at. No talking to you idiots. This guy. I don't know who he's talking to.
He's talking to the chat.
He's talking to the chat. It's just funny.
T.O. Sudfeld. That's pretty solid. I haven't heard that one yet.
He hasn't. He hasn't done a lot.
Urban Liar from Tommy. I like that.
Urban Liar.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I would like to thank Urban Meyer because all the memes that have come out of that have been wonderful. The only one that had better memes this week was Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams, thank you. You even inspired a meme by me, which I loved. And
it's getting some love, too.
Yeah.
It's getting some love. Undefeated. He said undefeated.
Oh.
You're acting like we undefeated.
No, we're definitely not. We're definitely not undefeated. But what it is, as a fan base, we're not defeated about the 49ers prospects for the season. Because 2-3... it's not a good situation to be in. Don't get me wrong. I was hoping we would win, so we would be 1-1 with everybody in the NFC West. But if we win next week, or our next game, we're 3-3, and 3-3 is right in the thick of things in the NFC West, or NFC in general.
True.
And 7 teams get to make the playoffs, and we're talking about a 17-game season. There's an extra week, so you still, as a football team, and I'm just telling you how it is from a locker room. You see opportunities to win. You still have the Jacksonville Jaguars to play. You still have the Houston Texans to play down the road. You know there are winnable football games. Even the Indianapolis Colts is a winnable football game. And I think you have to feel comfortable with the fact you just played Arizona to 7. Next time we get Arizona at our house, and we think we can duplicate this performance, but yet do better on offense and win that game.
Sir, this is a football podcast. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Caleb. It is way too early, Coach Timo, to throw in the towel. You're not wrong there. I would want to hear from Nick because he says Lynch and Kyle needs to go. I hear this from everybody.
Yeah,
I'm seeing a lot of people saying this. Who then? Who would be the replacements? I'd like to know who you think are the people they should bring in to replace I would love to know who those names are and how they're going to take this team from where they're currently at now to the moon.
I got it. Trent Baalke and Jim Tomsula.
Oh, God, no. I will throw myself off of a cliff, my guy. Off of a cliff. Oh, my goodness. No, look, it's definitely too early to overreact. Tommy said maybe the Cowgirls are actually good. I want to pump my brakes on the Cowboys. I really do.
You're going to pump the brakes? I think looking pretty good.
Their offense is looking pretty good. I still don't know of the teams that they've played and the wins that they have. Only a few of those games are fairly quality that I feel are quality. Even their week 1 almost win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm still not convinced about Tampa's secondary and that defense. I got a lot of questions there about that team. I feel the same way right now about the Cowboys that I do about the Cardinals, which is I think they're a good football team. I don't think they truly had a tough road so far, and I know down the road they have more tough games going. So what I don't want to do is permanently crown them as a great team. I think they are a good team and one of the better teams in the NFC, for sure, bar none. I think both of them right now are on track and trajectory to be teams that are top 4 in the NFC and most likely making the playoffs. But what I don't want to do is crown them as Super Bowl contenders right away because I don't know if I truly believe yet that they've played enough yet on their roster and with the teams that they've faced to know that with certainty. I don't think they've had teams been able to really test their weaknesses yet, but those games are coming for them here in the next few weeks.
We've been getting some, they've actually been putting some names in there that they think should take over.
All right, let's see.
I seen one was talking about, I was trying to see, Lynch needs to go, Adam Peters needs to be made the GM.
Okay.
He's assistant GM. If you're ready to move on from Lynch now, I mean, maybe. I mean, if you're going to go with in-house, I mean, that's interesting. Are we gonna?
I disagree.
I'm not gonna hate on it. I like Adam Peters.
Correct.
I think it seems like a lateral move to me, where John Lynch and him working together already.
Well, my question would be right for Spy. So Lynch needs to go. Peters needs to be made GM. What makes you think Peters is going to do anything different than what John Lynch has already done? Like how do things change? Because Peters has been learning from Lynch and working with Lynch and doing things kind of in that way and in that mold. I don't know if you're going to get a lot of a change there. Not a lot of things are going to shift. I mean, just like, the move to D'Amico Ryans as defensive coordinator. Some things changed, like in terms of the aggressiveness with the blitz calls and things of that nature.
Right.
But the Niners still run the wide 9. They still run zone at times. We've seen a little bit more man on third downs in certain situations, but I wouldn't say like the defense has fundamentally changed in terms of how it looks and how it operates. It just changes a few little things. So I'd like to know how that makes a big difference. And I saw Nick said Matt Campbell or ownership needs to beg for Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, he doubled down and said Matt Campbell or Jim Harbaugh ownership messed that one up. I'm not going to argue in saying they didn't mess up with Jim Harbaugh.
They definitely did.
They chose between Baalke and Harbaugh, and they decided to go Baalke. Maybe that wasn't a good decision at the time. But I mean, now we're in this moment with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, and they just re-upped. I mean, I don't think they're going anywhere.
The 49ers fans need to buckle in.
I think you buckle in because the development of Trey Lance is solely on their shoulders. And if he develops, then they're going to secure another contract. If he doesn't develop, then they'll be out the door. No one's going to have to help Kyle Shanahan to the door because he'll be worked his way out already because of the Trey Lance pick. That's why a lot of people are saying that he didn't want Trey Lance. He is completely tied to Trey Lance and married to Trey Lance, and he's the one that has the veto power on decisions. If he didn't want Trey Lance would not be the 49ers quarterback right now.
No, it's just not accurate. They are completely tied. If Trey Lance doesn't pan out, if Trey Lance doesn't develop here in the next 2 to 3 years, he will be out the door, as will most likely Trey Lance. The Niners will move on and find a new route and a new path to take with their franchise. That's the reality of the situation. That's what's going on. So Kyle 100% wanted Trey Lance. They were drawing up plays for him on the plane ride home from the draft. I mean, they wanted. Well, Trey.
He was drawing plays up after he left Justin Fields pro day
for Trey Lance.
Yeah,
he 100% wanted Trey Lance.
Yeah.
I think Kyle knew. It's pretty obvious based on the game plan today that Kyle knows what Trey is right now. Kyle also knows what Trey can be. And it's why he's consistently made the comments that he's made, right? That Trey is a guy they're going to mix in. He's quarterback too. He is not someone right now who is the starter. He keeps saying that Jimmy is the starter. I think the only way that changes is if the Niners come out of the next. I don't even necessarily want to say against the Colts in Week 7, but if they're sitting at 2-4, 2-5, Ant, that would be the time where the time to move on from Jimmy would be upon you because you're not looking at potentially making the playoffs. The season is a wash now at this point in time. and it's time to start getting the kid reps, starting to see what the offense can look like, and really starting to test him. We'll see where Jimmy's at. Where Jimmy's health is coming out of the bye week is going to play a big role into that. Because Trey didn't definitely do anything today that makes him the quarterback moving forward for this team. But he also didn't do anything today where it's like, oh, God, it has to be Jimmy Garoppolo. No, we almost won the game today with Trey Lance. Trey Lance made plays and put the 49ers in positions to win the football game at times. Sometimes they executed, sometimes they didn't. The 49ers had an opportunity, and that's all you're looking for as a coach, a chance to win. Right now, it might be a little more heavily relied upon the defense than Trey, but that's okay. We've done that in the past with other quarterbacks.
I love Caleb's take on this. Losing seasons don't faze me. I grew up with Mike Nolan.
Accurate. Caleb, accurate. 100%. Not only Mike Nolan, I survived Mike Nolan. I survived Jim Thomasula.
Yeah.
I survived Chip frickin' Kelly and that clustered bomb of a situation.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Who was the Erickson? Dennis Erickson. I survived Dennis Erickson. I'm fine. I'll be all right. I can live. I don't want there to be a losing season.
Yeah.
But if there is one, especially with one when I'm not expecting it, I'll be A-okay. $2 super chat from Tommy. McGlinchey was absolute trash. He won't get a deal.
Well, first off, they don't have to worry about it next year because he's on the 5th-year extension. And it was only $10 million. It was super cheap. So he's going to be the right tackle. But the draft will be interesting. Let's see if they go ahead and draft somebody to take his spot, or if they think that Jalen Moore could be the answer. Could we see a possibility of Mike McGlinchey moving to right guard next year and Jalen Moore to right tackle? It is not something out of the realm of possibilities.
I mean, that could be something, if the Niners really wanted to, it's something you could try out this year.
You definitely could. At some point during this year, you could try that out.
I don't think right now is the time for it, but it's definitely something you could do.
No, but maybe Jalen Moore is that answer at right tackle.
Maybe.
You kick McGlinchey into guard, you move on from Brunskill. Mike McGlinchey would make one heck of an offensive guard, and next year might be that year. And then you put Aaron Banks at left guard. That might be the answer to the offensive line issues, because we'll see if they bring back Laken Thompson. There's a lot of questions along the offensive line for next year.
Yeah, there's definitely some. Yeah. Brad Jones asked, she said, "Thank you, boys, for being so positive. Everyone else is being a Debbie Downer." Look, we figured. We figured. That's always kind of the mood here. It's a little bit more of an upbeat, positive mood, because it's real easy to look at the negative. It's real hard to sort through all of the bad and try and find that silver lining in the good. But it's there. It exists. It's always going to be there. It's just sometimes, right, expectations are so high and you're seeing everything unfolding in front of you that it's really hard to find what that is.
Yeah, cutting through emotion. You know what I mean? I had emotions going through the game. Some of them were up or some of them were down.
Still do.
I don't. I by the time the game was over, I was completely calm and just really trying to analyze, what happened in the game. So it didn't really affect me. T.O. saying Dennis Erickson, yes, I feel that one 100%.
What about Mike? I want winner Singletary from Mark Graves. Can't win with him. Can't do it.
I want winners. I want people that want to win. We went to the Bears game, remember?
We were at that game.
We were at the Bears game where, who was it, the quarterback? Grossman?
Yeah.
He throws 4 interceptions and like 2 of them are D linemen.
Oh.
And the Niners win, and everyone's excited. The crowd, Mike Singletary's the best. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, we won like 11-7.
We won 11-7 against a terrible Chicago Bears team. The only good thing that came out of that game was my streak of the 49ers winning when I am at the stadium continued, because up to that point I was like, holy cow, this is awful.
Yeah.
I just want this game to be over. This is the worst.
Yeah.
We somehow find a way to win that game. It was absolutely awful. But look, 49ers fans, we've been through so much worse than this. Like, this is bad because we're expecting the team to be, I think a lot of people expected, I know I did, I expected us through these first 5 games to be 5-0 going into the bye. At worst, 4-1 was my expectation. So, yes, expectations aren't there, but, single score games in all of them, one possession losses, it's like sometimes things just don't go your way. They don't bounce your way. And that's happened with a lot of the turnover stuff.
Yeah.
We've had turnover opportunities in the last 2 weeks leading into this week that just didn't go San Francisco's way. And the fumble today from Dante Johnson almost didn't go San Francisco's way, and the safety call didn't go our way either.
You know what I'm happy about is because anyone that's been around a football team, played, coach, whatever, knows what quicksand is. And in situations and games like this, if you get down or you're struggling a little bit, your team at points will stop competing. And when that happens, you start to lose big. The 49ers haven't had a single moment this year where they stopped competing. They've competed every single minute of the season. That's why I know they're not done. Yep. They're going out there. They're competing till the last second. They're fighting till the very end. If you started seeing Arizona be able to pull away at the end, and make this a 24-7 game or a 31-7 game, you're like, that's when you start to worry. That there's no quit. There's a lot of fight in these guys, and until there's not, I have to roll with them, and so I'm good with it.
Spy v. Spy, 2 first-round picks.
Well, I get what he's saying. Yes, it's very clear. We gave up 2 first-round picks, and we used the 3rd first-round pick to draft Trey Lance. People have been saying it all different ways. No matter how we say it, we gave up 2. We used 1.
We were always going to use 1, though.
Yeah, and I think that we've had some good comments in the comment section throughout the last couple of weeks about the whole Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Justin Fields thing. Is Mac Jones may have been the most ready right now, but he has the lowest ceiling of all the quarterbacks that 100%. Were taken in the first round of the draft. And Davis Mills didn't look bad today either, so good for him.
No, he didn't. He looked pretty solid today. That's the best rookie quarterback performance against a Bill Belichick defense ever in Bill Belichick's tenure. Caleb, are you trying to get on Big Yikes, Caleb? Are you trying to? I'm just glad no one is overreacting. Are you sure about that? I need the John Cena meme right now. John Cena needs to pop up on screen.
I'm pretty sure at the same time when Caleb typed it, he went, yeah.
You should have put the winky face in there. Things don't go away. Reply Lions fans, how dare you? No, they really don't. You guys are, the Lions are just full of just nonsensical badness. I feel so bad for you guys, man. It's you did everything that you were supposed to do today to come out with a win, and it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, it had to give for one of you guys because either you or the Vikings was going to blow a game late.
I mean, the one thing I'll say is it happened to us with Aaron Rodgers, so we feel your pain.
Correct. Also that. The Cutback Crew is head and shoulders above all other podcasts, bar none. Appreciate them and keep positive. We appreciate that, Coach Timo. We try to keep the positivity. It's real easy to overact and find the negative, like I said already. I don't know. I don't know how you can walk away from this game if you're a 49ers fan right now and just hate this football team. I don't. The defense played incredible. Trey, for
is it hate or is it just it's frustration?
It's frustration, right? But sometimes you got to put that frustration aside and try and look at the bigger picture. You have to try to. I know it's hard. It's easier said than done.
Maybe tomorrow,
hopefully
for some people,
hopefully tomorrow.
For some people, it can subside quickly. For others, it's frustration. It's hard, especially when you have high expectations for your football team, high expectations for the offense for Kyle Shanahan, and then you're frustrated when it's not going the way that you anticipated. And expectations, when they're not met, and whether those expectations are realistic or not, when they're not met, you get upset.
That's very, very true. Hey, Coach Timo, it's okay about the Lakers fans being in here. 069 Lakers, one more. Kyle, we need to play better Shanahan away from getting a timeout for spamming. So he just needs to take a deep breath. We hear you, my guy. You don't have to keep shouting at the mean ocean. We hear you.
Yeah. You don't. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's all gonna be. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Brad Jones says, "I'd rather have Kyle over Cliff." I like it. Yeah, I like the confidence and the positivity there, Brad.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it. Remember, the future Hall of Famer quarterback Aaron Rodgers said when his fans were on his team's nuts, RELAX, relax. I need a rainbow as my background, apparently. I need a rainbow. Says Nick. Nick says I need a rainbow.
Why do you need it?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's a shot at me. I have no idea. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Consider it.
I like it.
We'll talk to the graphics department, see what they can do. Frank Frustration.
Ooh.
That's an interesting use of the name Trey.
That was pretty solid.
Absolutely. Cutback Crew, if you had any questions, now would be the time to start asking them. We'll take a couple of questions before we cut it off for the night. I know everyone's, emotions are high. Feelings are mixed about the team's performance, about the quarterback play calling. I know, all of it's running high. But look, ask the questions now. Let's do that before we get into anything crazy and before we cut off for the night. Trey is the best draft pick in this last class. Could be. Time will definitely tell. Ha! Got him, says Caleb. Trey Lax, 49ers fans from TO. I like that.
Yeah.
Everyone finding some interesting usage for Trey.
Trey, yeah.
Choice snacks and drinks for game day from Matt Burgos. Good question.
Ooh.
Good question.
My game day go-to food is usually tacos. I eat tacos on game day. That's my go-to, and then far as snacks, it used to be chips. I don't do chips anymore, so I have to find other alternatives. Nothing as good as chips. I miss chips, but I would say that. Recently, the beverage has just been water. It's just been water. But depending on the game and the situation and the circumstance, it just varies. Good games, it'll be like maybe a little pop or like a hot cocoa or something. Pop? Yeah, it's... You've been hanging out with Megan too long. My fiance from the Midwest is starting to change me a little bit, man. Wow. Maybe not for the better. And then if we're losing, before we had a podcast, adult beverages. Adult beverages if we were losing. Oh, we got a podcast though. No, I have to be responsible. Responsible, folks. Yeah. Can't just go doing what you want to do anymore. Yeah, I mean, that's why I drink water, flavored water. It's my go-to. Beverage. It's good beverage, man. It's good. Food for me, though. Oh, man. I always like a good pizza. I always love a good pizza. But chicken tenders. Chicken tenders are good also. Oh, okay. Solid choice. Yeah, okay. Not I see a lot of wings. Wings are always a good choice as well. Oh, wings are always good. Yeah. Wings at 8:05, says Shooter. Yeah. 8:05. That's not bad right there. My question, why are so many fans angry about losing to a great team? It's a great question. You know what? I think ultimately, especially if you're on Twitter, you're going to see posts that just make you want to be angry. So, I mean, there's just a lot of negativity out there. And I think people just really want to win. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Fans want to win. And with social media the way it is, and I'm going to be open, you're going to catch flack from somebody, right? Mm-hmm. So you want your team to win. So not only can you have the jubilation of your team winning, but that way you don't have to hear the trash talk from anyone else. It's true. Hey, you know what? I now know, Ant, that it's Nick's first time on the podcast. It has to be Nick's first time on the podcast because he says all sunshine and rainbows, losing culture, only accepted on the Cutback Podcast. So Nick has never heard any of my other takes or my energy or some of my negativity or any of those things. And also doesn't understand winning culture because if you were negative all the time, you couldn't possibly have a winning culture. You have to have a positive outlook on things. Looking yourself in the mirror and realizing what went wrong, fixing those things, but being positive that you can fix them. If you don't believe that you can fix the problems that you're going to have, then you're going to lose. Like, that's just the reality. You're going to lose games continually if you are looking at the mistakes being made and the things that are keeping you from winning football games and being like, well, we just can't fix those things because we suck. Yeah, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, and it's also not Noah's flood. And both don't have to be exclusive. Darkness is not actually all around you. It's not like encapsulating this team or you or the circumstance. It's just 49ers Twitter right now. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Boom, 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 boom. I've come to talk to you. Yeah, look, it's going to be A-okay. Can we clean up the officiating in the NFL? Absolutely horrendous. It has been horrendous top to bottom, the whole league. This is not a 49ers problem. This is a league problem right now. The inconsistency has been through the freaking roof for a lot of teams, including the poor Lions. Poor Matt and your Lions. I feel really bad. Whew. I really do. Unfortunate. Nachos and a nice glass of depression for Caleb. Caleb, where do you get your depression from? Is it from the 49ers game itself or is it from 49ers Twitter? Which one is it? Because you can get it from a lot of places right now in 49ers land with what's going on. Yeah, I think acceptance is the first step in officiating because bad officiating is not going anywhere. No. It's going to be prevalent in every single game you see this year. I can't say learn to love it, but just learn to live with it at this point. Frank, this was Ant's opening, right? We can't lose next week faithful. So guess what? Be faithful next week is a guaranteed non-L. We're going to win the bye. We are definitely going to win the bye. Well, we have to win the bye, right? Look at the players that we're going to potentially get back. An extra week of preparation in case Jimmy's not ready to go for Trey. Those are all big, huge wins for the 49ers. Oh, 100%. And Brad Jones is right. They did miss Kittle. Especially in the 100%. Blocking department. That was huge. But also he would have, created other areas where he could have been successful with the pass game. So correct. Absolutely correct. Look, Cutback Crew, we enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. Really appreciate all of the comments, whether you're super down on this team, whether you think there's no hope whatsoever. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch need to go. Whether you're someone like Nick who's yelling at that mean ocean and yelling at us that we need to be more, critical and crucial. We get it. We understand. Maybe. Maybe you're right, but you know what's going to dictate that for you and I? All 22 film is going to dictate that for you and I. What's going on with this team, the decisions that they're making, the play calls that they're making, and the positions the coaching staff is putting the players in. If we're watching the L22 film and seeing, bad situations and bad play design and play call, we're going to be like,
yeah, this is not good, this is not great, and they need to fix this. This is on the coaching staff. And if we're seeing good decisions and good play calling and things of that nature, like we did with this defense, like we did with DeMeco Ryan, and like we've both been saying now since essentially week one, that DeMeco Ryans has been calling one heck of a defensive game each and every week. This hasn't been on the 49ers defense, it's been on execution. Well, guess what? Defense is starting to execute, and we're seeing the results of that. Now, offense is going to have to start doing the same.
There's not one single NFL coach that's going to watch 49ers film and think that DeMeco Ryans has done anything but a great job.
Mm-hmm.
He had a little bit of a bad time there at Detroit where he pulled off a little bit too much and they ran the wrong coverage. But since then he's rebounded nicely. A couple errors here and there, but that's to be expected. But overall, he's just put together great game plans and the team's executed at a high level. The defense is definitely not the problem. The offense needs to step it up a little bit, but they got things going on. They need to get it together. But they can, right? They can fix it. They got extra time to fix it. They need to fix it, and they need to win coming out of this bye week. But I'm not down in the dumps about this. I'm kind of lukewarm about our chances. But I think once we get to 3-3, if we get to 3-3, I'll be happy with it.
Correct. I mean, by no means are we saying that this team is still a shoo-in to win the NFC West. We're definitely not sitting here saying that this is now a for sure guaranteed playoff team. But what I'm not willing to do is say the season is over. This team is lost. All hope is gone, and it's time to just pack it in for the year. Way too early for that. This team is a few mistakes and clean up things and execution things away from being a team that would have beaten the Green Bay Packers, beaten the Seattle Seahawks, and beaten an undefeated Cardinals team. You don't always get what you want. You don't always win the games that you want to win. And sometimes the path to success is one that's filled with bumps, twists, turns.
I hope so.
Tons of adversity and a big fat, hill to climb.
Yeah.
The 49ers have put themselves in that situation. There is a large hill to climb, but they can climb that hill. They can get it done. It's not going to be the same path that we took in 2019. That is for sure. That is obvious right now. But they can still get themselves back there.
Yeah, and pay attention all week because as we get into the All-22, our thoughts and what we say about the game and stuff, we're going to put a lot of those thoughts and perspectives out there, during our episodes and the daily episodes that come out during the week. So pay attention to those. Jump on the chat. Let us know what you're thinking as you get into it as well. It's going to be a week where we're going to be reflecting on what's happened so far and looking ahead. And then once we get to next week, then it'll be all, full go towards the Colts. So it's going to be exciting couple weeks. We get a little bit of a break, just enjoy football, enjoy the downtime, and then get back to 49ers football after that.
Correct. We'll see what happens. Next week's going to be a lot of fun. The breakdowns over on Patreon are going to be legit this week, and they're going to be a ton of fun because it's Trey Lance evaluation on offense, and then defensively it's getting to see what DeMeco Ryans did and how he schemed up such a great game plan. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And wait, one thing. I want to say to Nick, I want to thank you for coming by. I want you to thank for bringing your perspectives.
Absolutely.
They're different than what we have, and that is okay. We want you to keep doing that because sometimes having different conversations, we get different perspectives on things. It opens your eyes to different things. So you're always welcome here. So welcome, Nick. I look forward to seeing you in future chats.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that right there. Hope you're right. We will see. Hey, listen, we hope we're right too, but we can 100% be wrong. And if we are, you'll know.
We're wrong about the score because we're about to send crumble cookies over to Evan from He's on Fire.
He's on Fire podcast. The crumble cookies are on the way, and Cutback Crew, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. here for Face Off, where me and Jay Hill are going to go at it. You don't want to miss that. We'll see you on the next one, and until that time, stay safe.
Remember, the right way
is always the 49ers way.